Okay, welcome back. And in this video, we're going to put the prop on. This is about my fourth airplane, I think, with the KS37. And I've settled on 11.6 for most of them. I think for all of them, actually. Had 10.6, 10.7, 11.5, 11.6, 12.6, and I think 11.6 works well for the 46. The 55 might need a little bit more. Can use a little bit more. I think I got a bit larger on the. I think I got an 11.5 or 12.5 on the RV8 that's using the OS55. But so the first thing you do is make sure the prop is good. Let me take the nut off. And let's see if it fits or it needs to be reamed out. So, nope, good fit. Doesn't need to be reamed. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I always like to check to see if it needs to be reamed or not, because that might change the balance. And so I'm going to quickly do a balance check. Let me go get my balancer and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my prop balancer here. It's the Top Flight Precision Magnetic Balancer, and looks fairly well balanced. You can see one side is not heavier than the other. I can spin it a little bit and it just comes back to the same place, and I'll save some time by not letting it go 100 oscillations here. So that's pretty good. And the other thing you can always do is turn it this way and see if it has any tendencies in that direction. It doesn't, so that looks pretty good. So the prop's balance, you always want to check that. APCs are usually pretty good. I've had one APC prop that I've actually had to add some weights on. Added the weights, and it worked okay after that, but I'd probably, for the cost of a prop, I didn't have another one. Otherwise I'd have just used a different one. But generally their props are always very well balanced. Okay, so let me put the balancer away. I'll be right back. Okay, so the prop is balanced. I'm going to use the True Turn aluminum spinner. It's the 2.5 inch spinner with a standard 2-blade holes in it. And because this is an OS engine, it requires the 1/4 by 28 kit for mounting it. So you can see the 1/4 by 28 kit comes with 3 things in it: the larger washer, the little aluminum washer, and the nut. Okay, so the larger washer is, if you've got a I'm not sure why it comes with it, because I don't use it. I have a whole collection of these, never used them. Okay, so the nut, you use this nut that came with the spinner, because this nut, the nut that came with the engine, is not used. And just going to test to make sure it fits on there. Okay, it does. And then the spinner, again, it's the 2.5 inch. Make sure you can see that 2.5 inch standard blade. And I speak from experience by saying that not all blades are made the same, and also not all spinners are made the same. The spinners that you think fit don't. So based on experience, I know this one fits very well on this airplane and with this prop. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure that the prop goes in there nicely, and you can see that it does, sits down in there very nicely. This little aluminum washer you put into the back plate like that, so it makes the back plate size for the 1/4 inch. Okay. And that goes all the way back to the thrust washer. Let's see if we can get it all the way back to the thrust washer there. There we go. Okay. And here I'm checking to make sure that the thrust washer is sticking out far enough that the spinner back plate will not be a problem. Okay. And then we put on the prop. Okay. And yeah, that should be all right. Okay, so then we're going to put this nut that came with the spinner. Oops, no we're not. Don't forget the washer that came with the engine, because that's what fits over the prop like that before you put this on. And this goes on and finger tight. And before I tighten that down, I'm just going to check the fit of everything. You want to make sure this aluminum is nice and even, no gaps. So that looks good. All right. And so now I'm going to take, I'm hoping I remember this correctly. It is. Okay. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch wrench to tighten this down. Now, don't just put your hands on this, because it'll be bloody pretty soon. So what I use, which I carry with me to the field all the time, I gotta get it out of my field box here, is a set of welder's gloves. Nice, big, thick welder's gloves. So I'm gonna put the left glove on, and then I can grab this prop without fear of being cut, and then I can wrench this down. And here you want it to wrench pretty good. What happens is, and this happened to me 2 or 3 times, is even though you get this down pretty good, first time you start it up, things expand, contract, whatever, and that comes off. It doesn't come off, it comes loose. And then the prop just sort of spins there and doesn't do anything. Fortunately, it only happens when you start your engine. And so that's not a huge deal, but I always carry my gloves with me so I can wrench that down if I need to. Okay, so that spinner works pretty well. I'm going to center the spinner so that there's a gap around the prop and the spinner. And this big, long, nice stainless steel bolt goes in front. Takes a 4mm hex, and you just tighten that down. Now, I don't use Loctite on these because they come off and on quite often, but I am going to put my glove back on and hold the prop while I tighten this up. Alright. That's good. Okay. The reason they come off and on a lot is because probably twice a year I change my props. Props get dirty, props get grass stains on them, props get dirt on them, props get nicked, and I like a nice clean prop when I fly. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so the prop and spinner is on, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.